Nicolas Jaar, space is only noise. Ugh. Okay. Hi, everybody. Anthony Fantano here, internet's, why are my sleeves rolled up? Busiest music nerd, and we're gonna do an album review. The new Nicolas Jaar album, Space is Only Noise. First off, I want to say I'm sorry because I didn't even post on the website yesterday. I just was not feeling well. A lot of sinus problems impacting my ears and my nose. It sucks, but I'm feeling a little better now. And before we get into this, I want to plug two people. Talk about two peeps. Number one, Jonathan Mann. On YouTube, he has a channel where he does a song a day. And I came across this guy's channel because he wrote a song sort of dedicated to all the people who were either really mad or really confused about Arcade Fire winning Album of the Year. Like, who the hell is Arcade Fire? And I'd also like to plug Andy D. You guys may remember that I talked about him in one of my previous videos, and I really don't feel like I gave his LP the justice that it deserved. Not that I'm in love with the album and that I lied about not liking it, but I just didn't explain why I didn't like it well enough, or even explain as to what kind of music fan may be interested in it. I'm just going to link a music video down there in the D box from Andy D. Even over here, if you click on this, you can watch it. It will explain everything. Okay? Nicolas Jaar is a New York electronic music producer. He's been putting out EPs pretty regularly for the past several years, but this is the first I'm hearing of him with this debut full-length album. A needle drop of mine, you know who you are. Ever since she introduced me to this, I've been kind of soaking it in. It's been taking a while for me to figure out how I feel about this, because it is a heady piece of work. And it's hard to label this LP as being any one thing, really. This album is part minimalist techno, part ambient soundscape, part sample-based sound collage, part field recording. What flavor you're getting really depends on what track you're listening to. It's kind of like a mixtape you might make for a really weird girl who you're attracted to. But still, even though there's a lot of variation among these songs, they all find a way to either blend or fade into one another, kind of making this a really cohesive listening experience. For some standout moments, let me say, Nicolas can really twist some knobs here. Let's look at the title track. It seems like this song, along with a lot of songs on this LP, are hits set for the planet's darkest dance floors. You've got Nico's voice, or what I think is Nico's voice, just mumbling, bouncing with echo, and sounding really deep and dark and ominous. When the beat hits, it is like pure ecstasy. Really fat, obese synthesizers, and more rhythms popping up as the song progresses. More effects are coming up, the bass is swelling in the background. It really kind of reminds me of the atmosphere surrounding Matthew Dear's Black City, and in another way kind of reminds me of Pantha Du Prince, in that on the surface it seems really repetitive, really minimal, but once you take the plunge and just dive your head into this thing, you see a lot more subtlety than you did the first time around. There are a few other tracks that kind of follow this formula. As far as other songs like the intro, the outro, a bunch of tracks peppered in between, there are a lot of sampled vocals and found sounds, like really weird clicks and textures, water, the sound of people laughing, talking, kids playing, mouth noises like, and it's all set to really dark synthesizers or piano. But it's not like all the samples here just create, you know, these filler tracks that you're just going to kind of breeze by when you actually get the album in your hands. There are a lot of spots here, like with horns and even the voices themselves, that actually build the song, like on I Gotta. I mean, I hear this man's voice. It couldn't possibly be Nicolas's. It sounds like some kind of blues man singing about his woman, but he takes this one section of him singing and repeats it over and over and over while all of this clipped instrumentation rises underneath it. It's really fantastic how Nicolas basically takes these sounds and plays them like they're an instrument. This album may come off as something that's trying to be like too deep for you, too out there, too weird, but there are a lot of accessible and beautiful and gorgeous moments here. It's just that many of them, I would say maybe all of them, do not hit right away. Plus, this LP isn't exactly straightforward with what its intent is. Even after all the times I've heard it, I'm not even sure what the point is. All I know is that I'm enjoying it. I'm hit by a lot of great grooves here. I love the synthesizers, the textures that flow throughout this album. I'm finding a lot of haunting melodies, a lot of great and creative uses of samples, and a really, really dark atmosphere. I'm feeling a decent to strong 8 on this thing. It gets kind of repetitive in the end, especially when you start hearing a lot of the voices that you heard in the beginning used over. Plus, I kind of wish there were a few more moments here like the title track. But overall, that's how I'm feeling on this thing. What did you think of it? If you got a chance to hear it, I blogged about it way earlier this month. I would love for you guys to hear the title track down there in the D box. I know there's more of this album out there on YouTube, I'm sure. Are you loving it? Hating it? Why? I know I'm loving it, and I would love for you to love it too. Anthony Fantano, Nicolas Jaar, Space is Only Noise, forever.